Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfszeit channel. Today with a very special topic. I mean always special. Is the cave camp worth it? What do I mean by that? Is it worth it from a perspective of territory control? And is it worth it from a perspective of a new player? And is it worth it to actually play there? So let's see the location first and then what is in the camp. So here far up in the north is the cave camp. You can farm a lot around here, especially something like mountain spiders, bell buses and stuff like that. You also have a horse spawn really close nearby. Here's the horse spawn. You have a lot of Gabore in the caves of the cave camp. But the main thing about the cave camp is this greater Natorus here. Because you need this greater Natorus here to produce the high-end game materials. But you also need the blast furnace, which is in Gaul Core. But at first, if you want to make Chronite and Ogmium, you have to use the Greater Natorus that is close to the cave camp between the Tephra Crater and the cave camp. You also have bandit camps nearby that you can farm and also a lot of random spawners. From a territory standpoint, when you're owning this keep here or this keep there, then you're getting a lot of taxes because a lot of people are building in this area. The northeast of the map is the most PvP heavy area and a lot of people are playing there, and there's also a lot of PvE options. For solo players, far less options, but for group gameplays, for example. A lot of people are in the Tephra Crater, mining stuff there, maybe extracting it directly and then going to the Greater Natorus, refining their shit there, then they are going to Gaul Core for the blast furnace to make their endgame materials. But here comes the but. A lot of other smart ass players getting their Galbinium out of Gabore, which is at the cave camp, directly at the cave camp, then they are going to the Greater Natorus and then they are going to Gaul Core. And basically this is not possible if you're not in the North Alliance. Maybe you are lucky that you don't get killed in the whole process of making endgame materials, but if you're not in an alliance in the north or in the northeast, which is big enough and can hold the area, you're pretty hardcore fucked. Unless you want to run around with 20 people or something like that at once. You also have the options for a few Riser camps, the Spider Queen and the Talos Riser dungeon. The problem is the North Alliance here, for example the Red Alliance we are currently also part of, is owning this territory, and if you building in this territory, if you are in this territory, you will get killed. This can change over time, of course, because maybe alliances changes, guilds changes, but most common thing in Mortal Online since Mortal Online 1 is the northeast is the endgame material area, and this will stay like that unless Starworld, for example, releasing Zaduka and maybe also placing a blast furnace and a Greater Natorus there, because we had Tephra in Zaduka, by the way. But this also needed to be transported to the cave camp and then to Gaul Core, which was awesome, by the way, because it was always in Mortal Online the North versus all the others that also want to sit in the North. I know, it sounds strange, and it is strange. So let's look around at the cave camp. For new players, this is maybe not the best choice because here are no guards. You have no guards here. So for a new player, this is only recommended if you, for example, also want to live in a place like the jungle camp or something like that. But if you are a complete solo player and you don't care to getting sometimes priest camped, it also depends on the people that are currently there, that are currently interacting with you. But most of the time, people in the north will kill you when they see you. It's the same like in the jungle. But the very good part is the cave camp has everything you need. Basically, it's basically everything you basically need to make to have a default gameplay experience, more or less. Sadly, there is no crusher there. There's just a grinder, but it's also okay because you can also buy just a crusher and place it. So yeah, you also have the Tindremic provinces and the Republic of Nordfeld. The quests here. So a lot of people who have really bad reputation and can't even enter Tindrum, for example, or Meduli or Fabanum, then they come here and making parcels from Kranish to Cave Camp, or from Cave Camp to Gaul Core. You have a little bank there, which is awesome, and of course the tasks vendor. And here directly at the Cave Camp, you can also tame chickens, for example. You can also kill chickens, of course, but you can also tame them. I mean, if you're really desperate, you don't have a starter sword or something like that, you can even box them to death to get a little bit of silver to buy yourself are eggs or something. There's also wolf peach, cabbage, and carrots growing directly at the cave camp. So if you're very low on money and you don't have something to buy yourself a pickaxe or I don't know, then you can just gather that. Also, a very interesting thing is you have the cave right here, because that is why it's called the cave camp, basically. You have a huge cave in there, and you have, I guess it was around 20 Gabore nodes or something like that. I guess even more if you're mining the stuff underwater as well, or close to water. I don't know how it was. And yeah, you can really get a lot of Gabore there. It's not worth as much as Tephra, but it's a very solid thing if you can gather here in peace. I mean, most of the people who are playing here are to some degree peaceful if you don't piss them off, but this is not particular this place, this is everywhere in Mortal. If for example someone is farming his spawn more or less, or the guild is farming this spawn for this period of time on a day, every day and stuff like that, and you came along and farming this spawner, expect to be killed. You can also find some crystals in this cave. Sadly, there's no foaming salt like it was in Mortal 1 and sadly that there's no more unique stuff to the cave camp, basically. I mean, the only unique thing is that there's a lot of Gabore. But yeah, it's basically the same like many other towns in Mortal Online. There is sometimes no specific stuff to that places. I mean, you can also go around the cave camp and farming carotons or stuff like that. Or nymph herbs. Nymph herbs is also pretty good, but that is not so close. But yeah, for a new player, I would say no, don't go here unless you really know what you're doing. For some veteran players or players that are longer here since a few months, this could be a really nice gameplay experience if you really try your best here just for a week or something like that and just see how it goes. For smaller groups, I would not recommend that. For some solo players that are hardened up, okay. But for smaller groups or something like that, the North is just unforgiving. The North will just kick your ass, and it's no, I don't recommend that in any way or form to play with a small group in the North, because you will get killed and you will get raided and your stuff will be sieged. And the cave camp is on the close border to the northeast, so it still could be an option. But I really don't recommend that. If you're part of a bigger guild, then yes. If you're part of a bigger guild that's playing in the area, yes. If you're part of a bigger guild that's playing in a completely different zone of the whole map, no. But I mean, you can try it out yourself. That is the beauty of Mortal Online. All in all, the cave camp is for me personally a 9 out of 10. It just deserves the same rating as the jungle camp. Sadly, the PvE options are not so good than the jungle camp, so it's a 9 out of 10 or it's a 8 out of 10, something like that. The very low population there is, of course, the thing that is good. So yeah, please leave your opinion about the cave camp in the comments. Would be really awesome, by the way. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone helps, and share this video with not your new players, please, because no one should go there as a new player. And special thanks to all the supporters, of course: Carmel, Professor Lukario, Rhonus, Paarthurnax, Cologne, Bulldog, Giovanni, Vargas, RealMadWurst, you, and all the others, of course. Oh, and never forget to make the cave camp hard. Oh. Party hard. See you all next time. Goodbye.